All right, let's dive in November 17th. We're looking at AA thought for the day. Really interesting stuff.
Yeah, some pretty deep stuff,
So
actually.
definitely. It talks about this idea of like two personalities, a good side and a not so good side. Like we're always kind of battling between the two.
Right, exactly. And I think we can all relate to that, right? It's not about being good or bad. It's about recognizing those different parts of ourselves.
Totally. Totally. Like I try to be super patient, but I'm not gonna lie, sometimes in traffic, I lose it.
Uh-huh. Yeah, we've all been there. But that's exactly it. Like even little things like that, it shows that duality, the struggle between those different sides.
And that's what the excerpt really gets at, right? This
Mhm.
idea that we're constantly flipping back and forth, which creates all this inner turmoil.
Mm-hmm. Exhausting, right? And think about how that plays out in other areas of life too, like with relationships, decision making, even just feeling good about ourselves.
Like that back and forth just undermines everything.
For sure. But the excerpt suggests that finding unity, finding that sense of peace, it comes from dedicating ourselves to something bigger than ourselves.
So it's like finding a purpose.
Yeah, exactly. Something that gives you direction and grounding.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have to be this huge, grand thing. It could be a cause you're passionate about, your family, even a personal goal.
It's interesting because the meditation for the day from the same date talks about joy and peace too.
Right?
And it uses this phrase, enter into the joy of thy Lord, which, you know, might sound religious,
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
but it's really about achieving that internal state of peace, right? Like finding that stillness within, regardless of what craziness is happening around
Yeah,
you.
exactly. It's about that inner peace that doesn't depend on anything external.
And that ties back into the whole idea of quiet followers that the excerpt mentions. People who just live with purpose and grace, but don't need all the recognition or applause.
And it's such a powerful concept because it's like, if we can find that contentment within ourselves, then maybe that internal struggle can start to quiet down.
It's like we don't need that external validation anymore.
Yeah, because we're already validated from within.
It's funny because the prayer for the day actually talks about that. Like not desiring the world's applause or rewards for doing what's right.
And that's a tough one, isn't it?
Right. Like in today's world, it's almost like we're programmed to seek that recognition.
It's everywhere you look. But maybe the key is to find that balance, to acknowledge that need for validation, but not let it control us.
It's a constant journey, for sure.
Definitely a journey.
So much to think about, though. This idea of these two sides within us that struggle for unity, but then also this incredible potential for deep inner peace and joy.
Yeah, it's all connected, isn't it?
It really is. And it all starts with understanding ourselves better.
Absolutely.
So, listeners, we leave you with this. If true inner peace comes from within, how can you cultivate it in your life? What steps can you take to maybe quiet that internal battle and embrace a more unified sense of self?
It's a question worth exploring.
It really is.
Yeah.